The Traditional View, Part 3, or 3. Evidence from an Ancient Christian Fragment. We turn first to the Muratorian Canon, the oldest surviving list of New Testament books, dating to the late 2nd century, c. 180 AD. The canon lists 22 of the 27 books later included in the New Testament. Concerning the Gospel of John, it states, open quote, "The fourth of the Gospels is that of John, one of the disciples. On the same night, it was revealed to Andrew, one of the apostles, that John should write down all things in his own name, while all of them should review it." Muratorian Canon of Rome, Papias 9-16, close quote. This fragment explicitly identifies John, one of the disciples, as the author of the fourth Gospel. 4. Evidence from Egypt. Around the same time, Clement of Alexandria, c. 180 AD, provides further insight into the authorship and purpose of John's Gospel. Writing from Egypt, Clement explains, open quote, "Of all those who had been with the Lord, only Matthew and John left us their recollections, and tradition says that they took to writing perforce. John, it is said, used all the time a message which was not written down, and at last took to writing for the following cause. They say accordingly that John was asked to relate in his own gospel the period passed over in silence by the former evangelists." Cited in Eusebius, Church History 3.24.1-13. Close quote. Clement not only names John as the author, but also explains why his gospel was written and how it complemented the earlier accounts. 5. Evidence from North Africa. From Carthage, Tertullian, c. 207 AD, affirms the traditional attribution of the Gospels with remarkable clarity. Open quote, "We lay it down as our first position, that the Evangelical Testament has apostles for its authors. Of the apostles, therefore, John and Matthew first instill faith into us, whilst of apostolic men, Luke and Mark renew it afterwards." Against Marcion 4:2. Close quote. Here, Tertullian explicitly distinguishes between apostolic authors, Matthew and John, and apostolic companions, Mark and Luke, while affirming the same fourfold gospel tradition. 6. Evidence from a Gnostic heretic. Even Basilides, an early Gnostic teacher in Alexandria, Egypt, c. 117-138 AD, bears indirect witness to the authority of John's gospel. Basilides directly quotes John 1:9 and John 2:4. Despite holding theological views at odds with Johannine theology, Basilides does not dispute the gospel's authenticity, demonstrating that John's gospel was already recognized and authoritative even among those who opposed Orthodox Christianity. What do these sources tell us? Taken together, these ancient sources present a unanimous and geographically diverse testimony. The Apostle John, an eyewitness and disciple of Jesus, authored a gospel. Irenaeus, the disciple of Polycarp, who himself was a disciple of John, explicitly identifies the author as John the Apostle. Justin Martyr, Clement of Alexandria, and Tertullian all affirm that the gospel was written by one of Jesus' apostles. Notably, there is no rival tradition for the authorship of the fourth gospel. The evidence emerges early and independently across the Roman Empire, from France, Egypt, North Africa, modern Tunisia, and Rome. Jerome, writing later in Illustrious Men 17, summarizes this tradition by confirming that Polycarp, the disciple of the Apostle John and Bishop of Smyrna, traveled to Rome to address disputes over the Passover and refuted the teachings of Marcion and Valentinus. Polycarp, later martyred by fire during the fourth persecution, also authored the Epistle to the Philippians. The majority position, upheld by scholarship for nearly 2,000 years, overwhelmingly attributes the Gospel of John to John the Apostle. As Bernhard Muchler observes, Jerome refers to John roughly 60 times, consistently reserving the title, the Disciple of the Lord, for him alone.